"The learned official," said Zichong, "who when he sees danger ahead will risk his very life, who when he sees a chance of success is mindful of what is just and proper, who in his religious acts is mindful of the duty of reverence, and when in mourning thinks of his loss, is indeed a fit and proper person for his place." Footnote 1, lit. Of grief, that is, really grieves, and does not perfunctorily perform a mourner's duties. Again he said, "If a person hold to virtue, but never advance in it, and if he have faith in right principles, and do not build himself up in them, how can he be regarded either as having such, or as being without them?" Zixia disciples asked Zichong his views about intercourse with others. "What says your master?" he rejoined. "He says," they replied, "associate with those who are qualified, and repel from you such as are not." Zichong then said, "That is different from what I have learnt. A superior man esteems the worthy and wise, and bears with all. He makes much of the good and capable, and pities the incapable. Am I eminently worthy and wise? Who is there then among men whom I will not bear with? Am I not worthy and wise? Others will be minded to repel me. I have nothing to do with repelling them." Sayings of Zixia. Even in inferior pursuits, there must be something worthy of contemplation, but if carried to an extreme, there is danger of fanaticism. Hence the superior man does not engage in them. Footnote 1. Occupations, say the commentators, such as agriculture, gardening, doctoring, divination, and the like. The student who daily recognizes how much he yet lacks, and as the months pass forgets not what he has succeeded in learning, may undoubtedly be called a lover of learning. Wide research and steadfast purpose, eager questioning and close reflection, all this tends to humanize a man. Footnote 1. Results in humaner feelings towards others. As workmen spend their time in their workshops for the perfecting of their work, so superior men apply their minds to study in order to make themselves thoroughly conversant with their subjects. When an inferior man does a wrong thing, he is sure to gloss it over. The superior man is seen in three different aspects. Look at him from a distance. He is imposing in appearance. Approach him. He is gentle and warm-hearted. Hear him speak. He is acute and strict. Let such a man have the people's confidence, and he will get much work out of them. So long, however, as he does not possess their confidence, they will regard him as grinding them down. When confidence is reposed in him, he may then with impunity administer reproof. So long as it is not, he will be regarded as a detractor. Footnote 1. This is taken as referring to his conduct towards his own superiors. Where there is no overstepping of barriers in the practice of the higher virtues, there may be freedom to pass in and out in the practice of the lower ones. Footnote 1. The disciple is certainly not equal to the master here. Ziyu had said, the pupils in the school of Zixia are good enough at such things as sprinkling and scrubbing floors, answering calls, and replying to questions from superiors, and advancing and retiring to and from such. But these things are only offshoots. As to the root of things, they are nowhere. What is the use of all that? When this came to the ears of Zixia, he said, there he is mistaken. What does a master in his methods of teaching, consider first in his precepts. And what does he account next as that about which he may be indifferent? It is like as in the study of plants' classification by differentia. How may a master play fast and loose in his methods of instruction? Would they not indeed be sages who could take in at once the first principles and the final developments of things? Footnote 1. That is, what student, less than a sage, but requires to be led gradually on? Further observations of Xia. In the public service devote what energy and time remain to study. After study devote what energy and time remain to the public service. As to the duties of mourning, let them cease when the grief is past. My friend Zicheng, although he has the ability to tackle hard things, has not yet the virtue of philanthropy. The learned Tseng observed how loftily Zicheng bears himself. Difficult indeed along with him to practice philanthropy? Footnote 1. Evidently sarcastic. Zicheng's virtues were more in appearance than in reality. Again he said, I have heard this said by the master, that though men may not exert themselves to the utmost in other duties, yet surely in the duty of mourning for their parents they will do so. Again, this also I have heard said by the master, the filial piety of Mang Shuang in other respects might be equaled, but as manifested in his making no changes among his father's ministers, nor in his father's mode of government, that aspect of it could not easily be equaled. Footnote 1. Some of his father's ministers were unworthy men, and the government was in need of reform. But during the period of mourning for his father, he would not interfere with his father's principles. See on this Perfection Book 1.2, Book 9.20. Yang Fu, having been made senior criminal judge by the chief of the Mang clan, consulted with the learned Tsang. The latter advised him as follows: for a long time the chiefs have failed in their government, and the people have become unsettled. When you arrive at the facts of their cases, do not rejoice at your success in that, but rather be sorry for them and have pity upon them. Footnote 1. A disciple of Tseng. Zikung once observed, we speak of the iniquity of show, but 'twas not so great as this, and so it is that the superior man is averse from settling in this sink, into which everything runs that is foul in the empire. Footnote 1. Shou Xin, the last of the Yin kings. See note on Book 18.1. Again he said, faults in a superior man are like eclipses of the sun or moon. When he is guilty of a trespass, men all see it. And when he is himself again, all look up to him. Kung Sancho of Wei inquired of Zikung how Confucius acquired his learning. Zikung replied, the teachings of Wan and Wu have not yet fallen to the ground. They exist in men. Worthy and wise men have the more important of these stored up in their minds, and others, who are not such, store up the less important of them. And as no one is thus without the teachings of Wan and Wu, how should our master not have learned? And moreover, what permanent preceptor could he have? Shasun Wusha, addressing the high officials at the court, remarked that Zikung was a greater worthy than Confucius. Zifu King Pi went and informed Zikung of this remark. Footnote 1. A statesman at the court of Lu. Footnote 2. The officer already mentioned Book 14.38. Sun Wuxia had been casting a slur on the character of Confucius. "No use doing that," said Zikung. "He is irreproachable. The wisdom and worth of other men are little hills and mounds of earth, traversable. He is the sun or the moon, impossible to reach and pass. And what harm, I ask, can man do to the sun or the moon by wishing to intercept himself from either? It all shows that he knows not how to gauge capacity." Zikin, addressing Zikung, said, "You depreciate yourself. Confucius is surely not a greater worthy than yourself." Zikung replied, "In the use of words one ought never to be incautious. Because a gentleman for one single utterance of his is apt to be considered a wise man, and for a single utterance may be accounted unwise. No more might one think of attaining to the master's perfections than think of going upstairs to heaven. Were it ever his fortune to be at the head of the government of a country, then that which is spoken of as establishing the country would be establishment indeed. He would be its guide, and it would follow him. He would tranquilize it, and it would render its willing homage. He would give forward impulses to it, to which it would harmoniously respond. In his life he would be its glory. At his death there would be great lamentation. How indeed could such as he be equaled?" Footnote 1. Lit would come. But, as in the Odes, the word has the meaning given above. Thanks for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more excellent content.